Hey everybody, it's me, Rick Acosta, the Dodger Card Collector, coming to you with another video. It's Thursday, September 15th. I don't have any hobby-related functions going on this weekend. We have the Long Beach card show coming up in a couple of weeks. I'll talk to you probably more about that in the upcoming videos that I make. The only thing I really got going this weekend, I have tickets for the Rams and the Falcons over at SoFi. Hopefully the Rams play better than they did on opening the Thursday night opener against the Bills. They were pretty much outplayed and just destroyed. So hopefully they play better against the Falcons on Sunday. I got a few pickups. One of the things that I enjoy about my collection, as you know, I'm a Dodger card collector, but I also build sets. And so today I'm going to show you cards today from my 1933 Goudey pickups of this week, my 1939 play ball, along with the set I'm building for the 1957 Topps. One of the things I've noticed when I'm putting these videos together, when I'm going through cards, and if you've seen any of my videos regarding the Dodgers, whenever I show a card from the 30s or the 20s, I always mention the Dodgers weren't a very good organization. And this video will kind of, it's a good example of that, but it also led me to realize that these players that I'm going to show you have a story, sometimes on the field, sometimes off the field. And while the Dodgers were always picking up Metacore players or guys just to fill in the infield spots for a couple of years, these guys do have some interesting stories. So I thought I would share them with you today. So let's get going. The first card I'm going to show you is the 1933 Goudey Tony Cuccinello. Now, Cuccinello played 15 seasons in the Major League Baseball, including 4 seasons with the Dodgers from 1932 to 1935. He was a solid everyday player in the infield, but I guess you could say the one thing that I kind of found interesting about him was he pinch hitted for Carl Hubble in the first Major League Baseball All-Star game in 1933. After 4 seasons with the Dodgers in 1935, Cuccinello was traded to the then Boston Braves. Never heard from much in the baseball world, but he has some nice cards. The 1934 Diamond Stars, that's a really nice card of his. And I like this one too, this 33 Goudey I picked up. All right, continue with the 1933 theme for the early part of this video. We have Jake Flowers, or DRC Jake Flowers, I should say. He played in 10 MLB seasons, including parts of 6 with the Dodgers from 1927 to 1931, and he returned in 1933. He was brought back in 1933 in the trade from the Cardinals that sent Dazzy Vance to the Cardinals, Hall of Fame pitcher Dazzy Vance. So once again, the Dodgers by this point had traded an old aging pitcher who could probably still help the Cardinals. In fact, I know that Vance was one of the contributors to the Cardinals winning the World Series the next season. And meanwhile, the Dodgers got an infielder who could play sparingly. He only played over 100 games one season, and that was in his first stint with the Dodgers in 1927. I like these 1933 cards, though. I like the ones that say Big League Chewing Gum on the bottom. It's a good-looking card, too. Okay. Next is one Oni Carroll. Carroll played 9 seasons from 1925 to 1934. His last 2 seasons were in 1933 to 1934, both with the Dodgers. He was also part of the trade, along with Flowers, that sent Dazzy Vance to the Cardinals. This guy paid immediate dividends for the Dodgers. He went 13 and 15 in 1933. He pitched 1 more season in 1934, didn't do much after, and his playing career basically ended at that point. The thing I found interesting when I was doing research about Owen Carroll was that he later went on to coach the Seton Hall Pirates from 1984 to 1972. He must be kind of a legend there because the baseball field at Seton Hall was renamed Owen T. Carroll Field in his honor. So I thought that was a really interesting to read this about him. And here's Owen Carroll, one of the playing cards, but I still like the colors in the back. Okay. Here is a Goudey Lafayette Thompson. He also played 9 seasons from 1925 to 1934. He played second base for the Dodgers in 1931 and 1932. I guess you could say his kind of claim to fame was he came over in a trade from the Phillies along with Lefty O'Doul. Lefty O'Doul had some MVP seasons, I believe, with the Giants, possibly with the Dodgers. O'Doul had some good years with the Dodgers as well. He finished his career with the New York Giants in 1933. My one interesting note about, well, I should say one in his playing career, the one interesting note about Goudey Thompson, or excuse me, about Lafayette Thompson, he goes by Fresco Thompson in pop culture, I guess you could say. Thompson attended Columbia University, and he was a football teammate of one Lou Gehrig. So they played football together at Columbia University. They weren't on the same baseball team because Thompson signed a contract before he was able to play. He signed an MLB contract before he played with Gehrig on the baseball team for Columbia. Now, in doing more research about Thompson, he worked his way through the Dodger system, eventually becoming an executive for 22 years. He finally became the general manager for the Dodgers in 1968 after Buzzy Bavasi left for the expansion San Diego Padres. Thompson's real claim to fame that a lot of Dodger fans talk a lot about is he presided over the Dodgers' hugely successful 1968 amateur draft. That season, the Dodgers drafted Steve Garvey, Davey Lopes, Ron Cey, Bill Buckner, Bobby Valentine, Joe Ferguson, Doyle Alexander, and there's others, but those are the names that would help the Dodgers really reignite in the early 70s and the team that played throughout the decade in the 70s. So I never realized Fresco Thompson was a Major League Baseball player until I did some research, and actually until I bought this card. So that's one of the neat things, I love buying cards about players that I know. I grew up in the 70s, Ron Cey, Davey Lopes, Steve Garvey, Bill Russell, Reggie Smith, Dusty Baker. I know about those guys, and you hear about Koufax and Drysdale, but when you go way back, like this Lafayette Thompson, you learn a lot about these guys. So it's one of the fun things I enjoy about collecting, especially when it comes to pre-war cards. And my last 1933 card is going to be Glenn Wright. Wright played 11 seasons, 5 of them with the Dodgers from 1929 to 1933. He started at shortstop for 2 seasons. Didn't have much of an accomplished career, but he did get 11 MLB seasons in there. So that's Glenn Wright. All right, now we're going to move on. By the way, in regards to 1933 Goudey, I'm still needing 5 more cards to finish my Dodger team set. One of them being Hack Wilson. I might get a new card next week. It's just I'm still trying to negotiate a deal with someone on eBay. All right, let's move over to 1939 Play Ball. Ray Hayworth. He had a 15-year career, primarily with the Tigers. He pitched with the Dodgers for parts of 4 seasons, 1938, 1939. Then he returned during World War II in 1944 and 1945. Not much to say in regards to his Dodger career. He did, like I said, have a 15-year career. After his career, though, he became a Major League Baseball scout. He scouted Ernie Banks for the Cubs, and he arranged to buy Banks' contract for $22,000. So that was the part I found interesting in regards to Ray Hayworth. I need one more card to finish my 1939 Play Ball Dodger team set. It's not someone popular. I don't know his name off my top of my head, but that's the thing when we're talking about the Dodgers in the 30s. The sets are a little easier to work on because you're not having to worry about buying superstars. If you were collecting the Yankees, you'd have to worry about Gehrig and Ruth and and even DiMaggio in the late 30s, or someone like Bill Dickey or Lefty Grove. You don't have that issue when you collect the Dodgers. So in the 30s, the Dodgers are a very easy set to collect. So that makes me a little relieved sometimes when I'm working on these sets. All right, so my last three cards come from the 1957 Topps set. So in this regard, you guys know these players, so I'm going to talk only a little about them because you've heard their stories a lot. And my first card is Warren Spahn. Spahny that year went 21-11. He led the Braves to the 1957 World Series. He won the Cy Young Award that year with the league, and he finished that year with 18 complete games. I don't even know what the league leader finishes now in complete games. Maybe 2. Someone like Scherzer or DeGrom. I don't know. In the 1957 World Series against the Yankees, Spahn started 2 games going 1-1. He lost game 1 to Whitey Ford, went on to win game 4 in extra innings for the Braves. And Lou Burdette won the other 3 games that season for the Braves. So the Braves went on to beat the Yankees in 7 games and capture their first World Series title in Milwaukee. For those of you going, why doesn't he have a toppler? Why does he have penny sleeves? I took this this card, the next card, out of my binder, and they'll go back into binders after this video. All right, and my next card is one Rocco, or Rocky Colavito. His second full season in the majors. He won the American League Rookie of the Year in 1956. And he followed that up in 1957, hitting 25 home runs, 84 RBIs for the Indians. Went on to produce bigger numbers in 58 and 59. And then we all know he was traded to the Tigers right before the 1960 season started for Harvey Keene, and thus became the infamous Curse of Rocky Colavito. Great story. If you've never read the book, it's actually an interesting book. One thing I will say, I know he played one of his last seasons with the Dodgers, and by that point he was toast. He was done. So this was a pickup I think I got from Triple Play Vantage. Yeah, Triple Play Vintage out of Ohio. They have some good cards there, guys, if you're ever looking for singles. Yeah, sometimes he's a little expensive, but he has some good stuff. I picked up a 1972 500 card lot from him several years ago. He sells lots as well. All right, my last card, let's push this back a little because this card's slabbed. So we're gonna go with the 1957 Yankees power hitters of Mickey Mantle and Yogi Berra. Mick won his second consecutive MVP in 1957. Remember, he won the first one in 1956 when he won the Triple Crown that season. And Yogi Berra actually finished second that year in 1957 in regards to the AL MVP voting. But this is a good looking card. I picked up the 57 Mantle card at the Burbank Card Show. I liked it, but it's not a great card. Even if you have that in an 8, just the color and the photo isn't the best. This one I liked a lot more. I got a great deal from it on eBay, from a seller on eBay last week. Paid under the VCP price, which has been my story in regards to this 1957 set. I have been paying way under cost on a lot of these cards. So with these cards, I am now down to 6. I need 6 more cards to finish my 1957 set. I have 2 more coming next week. And then after that video, I'll tell you what 4 I'm still looking for. I'm trying to see if I can finish this set this year, 2022. Let's see if I can do that. I'm still working on some Dodger team cards, and I recently started building a 1941 play ball set, all graded. That's going to take several years. So I'll put out videos of that whenever I receive a card. But for now, that's what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your sports weekend. Check out. Hopefully your baseball teams are doing well. And if you're into the NFL season, hopefully your team's off to a good start. A lot of injuries out there. I'll catch you guys next week. Have a good weekend, everybody. Take care.